Um, okay. My name is Natalie Hooper, and I am doing my final project on the Sami people. Um, and they are indigenous people that live in like the northernmost part of Scandinavia. Um, I teach eighth grade art, visual art. So I'm kind of like centering this whole project around that age group. And we'll be doing like a mixed media project. So this is my in progress PowerPoint. So I'm not done with this yet, but this is what I've got so far. So this is also a student facing PowerPoint as well. Just to preface that. So this is kind of like what I would be showing my students to actually introduce this project. So, first things first, I'm just going to run through it as if you guys were my students, and then I'll kind of explain what the project is going to be like because I don't have that part done of the PowerPoint yet. But who are the Sami people? The Sami people, like I said, are indigenous people that live in the northernmost parts of Sweden, Norway, Finland, and the Kola Peninsula of Russia. There's about 100,000 Sami people. Not great record of how many Sami people are alive, but we're estimating that about 60,000 are living in Norway, 20,000 in Sweden, 8,000 in Finland, and 2,000 in Russia. Traditionally, reindeer herders and fishermen were kind of those main occupations, but many Sami people work in very common roles in their communities, outside their communities, um, as well. Uh, a quote from one of the websites that I have in my reference page says that Sami culture is also flourishing when it comes to modern arts, crafts, and clothing, all of which have recently garnered international attention. There are 10 different languages spoken among the Sami people, but most are not commonly used. North Sami is the most widely used. And then a quote from visitnorway.com says that during large parts of the 1900s, the Sami in Norway were forbidden from speaking their own language and were forced to learn Norwegian under strict assimilation policies. As a result, slightly less than half of Sami in Norway speak a Sami language. The Sami people received an official apology from the Norwegian government in 1999 for these policies. Um, but that kind of goes over the language that they speak. And then I have some photos. I tried to include some of Sami people in their traditional clothing as well as in modern clothing. I'll talk about that a bit in a second, but these are by Erica Larson. So are these photos. So then I wanted to ask my students what these photos and this background information reminds you of. I live in northern Minnesota. We have a very high population of Native American people. My classroom is actually used for the Ojibwe class, my at the end of the day. So I'm really kind of hoping to press students a bit about that. Um, I don't have a slide specifically dedicated to it, but I just kind of want to have this slide up as we kind of have a conversation as a class about it. I do also really want to hammer home that Sami people, similar to Native American people, are not people of the past, right? These are modern, currently living, currently working people just like us. So I do have some pictures included that kind of show that. So, like over here, you can see that Sami people are modernizing. They're using things like snowmobiles for reindeer herding, that kind of thing. And then the picture over on the right, I have a guy hanging out in his home. He's got the traditional tools for reindeer herding in his hand, but he's wearing jeans and a flannel. So I thought that that was a good way to remind students that these are not people in the past. This I'm excited about, especially with my age group, but what Disney movie do you recognize Sami clothing or occupations from? So I know eighth grade is a little bit old, but I promise you that they do love Frozen still. So Frozen, Kristoff. So he is an ice harvester, and throughout the movie, he's accompanied by his reindeer friend Sven. So I really wanted to include this to also again remind students that these are modern people. This is stuff that we're seeing in regular pop culture day to day. So yeah, and my plan is to kind of have another slide on here, kind of breaking down maybe like his outfit or like the song at the beginning with like the ice. But yeah, and then this is kind of that last slide that I have finished so far, but we're just going to kind of get into the project description. And as I am saying that, I'm realizing that it's not actually a finished slide. But I will be kind of describing the project, going through the steps, all that good stuff that is normally on a PowerPoint. So, as far as you guys, my peers, not my students, go. We're going to be making a mixed media project, drawing, painting, collage, um, inspired by symbolism and subject matter that we see in Sami artwork. And that, again, is going to be added more onto that PowerPoint, but it's just not there right now. So I'm really excited about this project. I personally am super Swedish, like my grandparents are fresh off the boat. So um that was kind of a big part of my life growing up was being very Scandinavian. And the area that I live in is a very Scandinavian area, especially the side of town that I am on. So I'm hoping that a lot of my students are like, oh, cool, my grandpa's Norwegian, that kind of thing. And they can kind of like take some personal feelings and relate it back to that. And then additionally, with having such a high Native American population as well, I'm really hoping that we can kind of draw some parallels to how the Sami people have been treated and what they're experiencing, as well as what Native American have been experiencing and how they've been treated. So yeah, I feel like this is a project that I like genuinely would like to teach my class. But yeah, that's my project proposal.